Germany is a land of contrasts, where ancient castles perch above rushing rivers, dense forests blanket rolling hills, and vibrant cities bustle with life and culture. With over 25,000 castles dotting its diverse landscapes, Germany boasts a deep and fascinating history waiting to be explored. From the high-speed autobahns stretching across the country to the rich traditions of Christmas markets and charming medieval towns, Germany offers a wealth of experiences for the intrepid traveler. In this journey, we'll unearth over 50 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and unravel the many wonders of this captivating nation. Join us as we embark on a cinematic voyage through the heart of Europe, from the snow-capped peaks of the Bavarian Alps to the winding cobblestone alleys of quaint villages lost in time. Prepare to be enchanted by the scenery, immersed in the history, and inspired by the stories of Germany. Did you know that Germany is home to the world-famous Autobahn highway system? While it's a common belief that the Autobahns have no speed limits, around 50% actually do impose restrictions, typically ranging from 80 to 130 kilometers per hour. However, some sections are indeed limit-free, making them a bucket list drive for many auto enthusiasts. Germany also takes great pride in its bread and sausage-making traditions. The country produces over 300 varieties of bread and more than 1,500 types of sausage, each with its own unique flavors and preparation methods. It's no wonder that these culinary staples are deeply ingrained in German culture and daily life. Nestled in the foothills of the Bavarian Alps, near the town of Füssen, stands Neuschwanstein Castle. Built in the 19th century in the Romanesque Revival style. Its soaring towers and ornate design reflect King Ludwig II's fascination with art and architecture. The castle was commissioned by King Ludwig II of Bavaria, known as the fairy tale king for his love of grandiose architecture and the arts. Although it may look like a medieval fortress, Neuschwanstein was actually built between 1869 and 1886, making it a relatively modern castle by European standards. Despite its short history, the Neuschwanstein watch has become an iconic symbol of Germany, attracting over 1.3 million visitors per year. Its picturesque setting high above the rugged valleys and sparklingly, combined with its elaborate Gothic-inspired detailing, makes it a sight to behold. In fact, this castle served as the inspiration for Disneyland's Sleeping Beauty Castle. In southern Germany, the Bavarian Alps rise as a dramatic chain of mountains, home to wildflower meadows, glacier-fed streams, and snow-covered slopes. The highest peak, the Zugspitze, reaches 2,962 meters and offers sweeping views across the Alps into Austria and Switzerland. The crowning jewel of the Bavarian Alps is the Zugspitze, Germany's highest mountain peak at 2,962 meters above sea level. Ascending to the top is an unforgettable experience, with sweeping vistas of the surrounding peaks and valleys stretching out in every direction. For a less strenuous journey, visitors can take the cog railway or cable car to the summit. At the foot of the Zugspitze lies the charming resort town of Garmisch-Partenkirchen, a mecca for skiers and snowboarders in the winter and a hiker's dream in the warmer months. The town itself is postcard perfect, with traditional Baubieten houses, colorful flower boxes, and old-world churches set against the dramatic mountain backdrops. Deep in the Berchtesgaden Alps, just a stone's throw from the Austrian border, lies the alpine town of Berchtesgaden, known for its dramatic landscapes and quiet pace of life. The region's best-known feature is Lake Königssee, a deep green alpine lake framed by steep cliffs. Often called Germany's most fjord-like lake, it is crossed by electric boats carrying visitors to the Baroque pilgrimage church of St. Bartholomew. High above Königssee sits the Eagle's Net, a mountaintop tea house that once served as a Nazi party retreat. While its history is undeniably dark, the site now offers an unparalleled view of the lake and surrounding mountains. Getting there requires a scenic bus ride up a winding road with hairpin turns that will leave your heart pounding. Back in Berchtesgaden proper, the town chimes with a quiet, old-world charm. Visitors can stroll through the picturesque market square, marvel at the frescoed buildings, and sample traditional Bavarian cuisine at one of the many inviting restaurants. The area is also renowned for its salt mines, which offer underground tours that shed light on the region's centuries-old mining heritage. Munich, the capital of Bavaria, blends history with modern life. At its heart is Marienplatz, where the new town hall's Glockenspiel has entertained crowds for more than a century. Nearby, the Viktualienmarkt offers a lively open-air market filled with produce, cheeses, and baked goods that has been central to city life since the early 19th century. Just a short tram ride from the city center, Nymphenburg Palace provides a tranquil escape from the urban bustle. This sprawling Baroque palace was once the summer residence of the Wittelsbach monarchs, and its opulently decorated rooms and manicured gardens transport visitors back to the days of royal splendor. Don't miss the spectacular stone hall with its intricate frescoes and the Gallery of Beauties featuring portraits of King Ludwig I's female admirers. For a taste of nature within the city limits, head to the English Garden, Munich's largest public park. Spanning over 900 acres, this urban oasis offers something for everyone, from sunbathing on the sprawling lawns to surfing the currents of the man-made Eisbach wave. Be sure to stop by the Chinese Tower Beer Garden for a refreshing mace of lager and a pretzel the size of your head. Entering the walled town of Rothenburg ob der Tauber is like stepping into a living fragment of the Middle Ages. Cobblestone streets, timber-framed houses, and preserved ramparts create an atmosphere unchanged for centuries. The town's most iconic spot is the Plunline, a charmingly crooked intersection featuring a tall stone tower, a bright yellow building, and timbered houses converging at odd angles. It's an image straight out of a storybook, and one of the most photographed scenes in Rothenburg. Nearby, the Marktplatz hums with activity as locals and visitors alike gather around the central square's bubbling Georgsbrunnen fountain and the 13th century town hall with its 52-meter tower. For a spectacular view of the town's red rooftops and lush surrounding landscapes, climb the 220 steps to the top of the town hall tower. Rothenburg's medieval walls remain one of its most striking features, stretching for over 2 miles around the old town. Visitors can walk along the covered ramparts, passing through fortified towers and gates that once defended the city. From these elevated walkways, sweeping views of red-tiled rooftops in the surrounding Tauber Valley unfold, offering a glimpse into the town's storied past. The Bavarian cities of Nuremberg and Bamberg offer contrasting insights into German history. Nuremberg, once a major city of the Holy Roman Empire, carries the legacy of both medieval grandeur and its role in 20th century trials. Nearby Bamberg, with its UNESCO-listed Old Town and Riverside Town Hall, showcases centuries of architectural and cultural continuity. Yet Nuremberg's Old Town, with its massive imperial castle and half-timbered burgher houses, paints a picture of the city's golden age. The castle, perched high above the city, offers sweeping views and houses an excellent museum tracing Nuremberg's evolution from a medieval powerhouse to a center of the Third Reich. Don't miss the Courtroom 600 exhibit, which details the groundbreaking war crimes trials that reshaped international law. Just down the road lies the enchanting city of Bamberg, a UNESCO World Heritage Site renowned for its untouched medieval architecture and hearty Franconian cuisine. The entire Altstadt Old Town is a warren of narrow cobblestone streets, Baroque churches with onion dome towers, and quaint breweries that have been pouring pints for centuries. A highlight of any visit to Bamberg is the Altes Rathaus, or Old Town Hall, which straddles the River Regnitz atop an arched stone bridge. Its elaborate frescoes and half-timbered annexes make it a favorite spot for photographers. Nearby, the Domplatz Square is dominated by the majestic Bamberg Cathedral with its 4 towering spires and stunning rose window dating back to the 13th century. Before we continue deeper into Germany, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Pathfinders Travel. You'll also find detailed travel guides and itineraries linked in the description to help you plan your own journey. Würzburg, a scenic university town along the main river, is home to one of Germany's most opulent palaces, the Würzburg Residence. This sprawling Baroque estate, built in the 18th century for the local prince-bishops, is a masterpiece of German Baroque architecture and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Würzburg also marks the start of the Romantic Road, Germany's most famous scenic drive, which meanders through the picturesque walled towns and rolling landscapes of Bavaria. Highlights along the route include the medieval town of Dinkelsbühl, with its rainbow-hued burgher houses encircling the marketplace, and the imperial city of Augsburg, once home to the wealthy Fugger banking dynasty. In Augsburg, be sure to visit the Fuggerei, the world's oldest social housing complex still in use today. Founded by the Fugger family in the 16th century, the settlement provides subsidized apartments for the city's needy Catholic residents, who pay a nominal annual rent of just €0.88. Wandering through the quiet courtyards and moss-covered buildings feels like stepping back in time. Straddling the borders of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, Lake Constance, known locally as the Bodensee, is a true gem of Central Europe. Fed by the River Rhine, Lake Constance is one of Central Europe's largest lakes, shared by Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. In Menno Island, expansive gardens bloom with tulips, roses, and exotic plants, complemented by one of Germany's largest butterfly houses. On the eastern edge of the lake sits the storybook town of Lindau, a former free imperial city with a rich trading history. The town's most iconic landmark is the Bavarian lion statue, which stands guard over the harbor entrance alongside the candy-striped lighthouse. Visitors can stroll along the promenade, admiring the colorful burgher houses and Gothic churches, or relax at one of the many waterfront cafes. For a bird's-eye view of the lake and its surroundings, head to the top of the Fender Mountain, accessible via a scenic cable car ride from the nearby city of Bregenz. At the summit, you'll be greeted by sweeping vistas of the Bodensee, the Allgäu, and even the Swiss Alps on a clear day. Keep an eye out for the resident golden eagles and wild ibex that roam the mountainside. Germany's Black Forest, or Schwarzwald, stretches across the southwest with dense pine woods, winding valleys, and villages that inspired generations of legends and stories. The spa town of Baden-Baden, once a favorite of European nobility, contrasts with the natural spectacle of Triberg's waterfalls and the traditional craft of cuckoo clockmaking. One of the most glamorous stops in the Black Forest is the spa town of Baden-Baden, a favorite retreat of the Victorian-era elite. The town's opulent casino, the Kurhaus, is a neoclassical marvel with gilded columns, crystal chandeliers, and frescoed ceilings that has hosted everyone from Dostoevsky to Marlene Dietrich. Visitors can try their luck at the gaming tables or simply savor a slice of Black Forest cake in the chandelier-lit cafe. For a taste of the region's natural wonders, head to the Triberg waterfalls near the town of Triberg. These cascades, among the highest in Germany, plunge over 7 tiers of granite cliffs, sending up a misty spray through the emerald forest. A series of well-maintained hiking paths wind through the falls, offering breathtaking views and a refreshing escape from the summer heat. Triberg is also home to the world's largest cuckoo clock, a whimsical monument standing 15 meters tall with a 14-meter pendulum. The clock chimes every 30 minutes, delighting onlookers as a wooden cuckoo emerges to announce the time. Visitors can also browse the town's many clock shops, where artisans still handcraft traditional Black Forest cuckoo clocks using techniques passed down through generations. For a scenic drive through the heart of the Black Forest, take the Schwarzwald Hochstrasse, a 60-kilometer route that winds past pristine lakes, rolling hillsides blanketed in dark pines, and idyllic farmsteads where cattle graze on flower-flecked meadows. Along the way, be sure to stop at the Mummelsee, a glittering mountain lake steeped in legend and said to be inhabited by a kingdom of water nymphs. Above the Neckar River, Heidelberg Castle dominates the skyline with its red sandstone walls and Renaissance details. Despite repeated destruction, the castle remains one of Germany's most evocative landmarks. A short journey away, Stuttgart reflects Germany's modern spirit, home to the Mercedes-Benz Museum and expansive green parks surrounding its palaces. Visitors can explore the castle's crumbling walls, courtyards, and lush gardens while learning about its tumultuous history through guided tours and museum exhibits. Don't miss the Great Heidelberg Tun, a massive 15th-century wine cask that once held over 220,000 liters of wine, or the Pharmacy Museum showcasing medieval medical instruments in apothecary jars. For a taste of modern German life, head to the nearby city of Stuttgart, the capital of Baden-Württemberg and the birthplace of the automobile. Car enthusiasts will want to visit the futuristic Mercedes-Benz Museum, which traces the history and evolution of the iconic auto brand with a collection of sleek vehicles and interactive displays. Stuttgart is also renowned for its lush parks and green spaces, including the sprawling Schlossgarten surrounding the Neues Schloss Palace. On warm summer evenings, locals flock to the park for open-air concerts, picnics, and games of frisbee on the Great Lawn. The nearby Birkenkopf Hill, built from the rubble of World War II, offers a poignant remembrance of the city's past and a sweeping view over the modern metropolis. The Rhine Valley, stretching between Mainz and Koblenz, is one of Germany's most storied landscapes. The river winds through steep hillsides lined with terraced vineyards, overlooked by medieval castles and towns that seem unchanged for centuries. Writers, painters, and composers once found endless inspiration here, and its scenery continues to feel timeless. The Loreley Rock remains the most famous landmark on the river. Rising like a dark slate wall above a sharp bend, it gave birth to legends of a siren whose song lured sailors onto the rocks below. Today, trails lead to its summit for sweeping views of the valley, where barges and cruise boats still navigate the same currents that shaped the myths. Further downstream, the town of Bacharach preserves its medieval charm with timber-framed houses, cobbled streets, and flowering balconies. Wine taverns pour Riesling grown on the surrounding slopes, while above town the red ruin of Werner Chapel recalls centuries of war and faith. Away from the Rhine, the Moselle River holds two of Germany's most striking castles. Eltz Castle, rising directly from its rocky spur, has been in the same family for more than 800 years. Its turrets, halls, and armory recall a fortress untouched by time. In Cochem, the rebuilt Reichsburg dominates the riverfront, its Gothic towers looking out over vineyards and winding streets where travelers pause with a glass of Moselle wine as boats drift past. Dresden, capital of Saxony, is often called the Florence on the Elbe. Reduced to rubble during World War II, it has risen again with extraordinary care, restoring its landmarks to their former glory. The result is a city where memory and renewal stand side by side. The Zwinger Palace, built in the early 18th century, is a Baroque masterpiece of arches, sculptures, and galleries. Its courtyards are framed by pavilions and fountains, while inside the Old Masters Gallery holds works by Raphael, Rubens, Punto, and Rembrandt. The porcelain collection, showcasing Meisen's finest craftsmanship, reflects Saxony's long artistic tradition. Nearby, the Frauenkirche dominates Dresden's skyline with its vast stone dome, destroyed in the war and left in ruins for decades. It was reconstructed from thousands of salvaged stones, a symbol of reconciliation. Visitors step into a soaring, light-filled interior that embodies the city's resilience. Beyond its monuments, Dresden remains alive with culture. The Semper Opera stages world-class performances, while the Neustadt district hums with cafes, galleries, and nightlife. On summer days, residents gather on the Elb's grassy banks, turning the riverside into a park alive with music and conversation. Leipzig has long been a crossroads of trade, culture, and ideas. Its history stretches from medieval markets to the peaceful protests of 1989 that helped topple the Berlin Wall. Music, however, is the city's deepest legacy. Johann Sebastian Bach spent nearly 3 decades as cantor of St. Thomas Church, where his music still fills the Gothic nave. Visitors can attend services, concerts, or stand before his grave in history. The St. Thomas Boys Choir, founded in the 13th century, continues the tradition. The University of Leipzig, one of Europe's oldest, has shaped generations of thinkers including Goethe and Nietzsche. Its neoclassical buildings and gardens remain central to the city's life. Today, Leipzig also thrives as a modern cultural hub. The Spinnerei, a former cotton mill, houses more than 100 artist studios, while repurposed factories host galleries, performances, and creative spaces. This mix of history and reinvention gives Leipzig its energy, a city that honors its past while constantly reshaping its identity. Thuringia lies in the center of Germany, a region where cultural and intellectual history runs deep. Erfurt, the state capital, grew as a medieval trading hub. Its old town is a maze of timber-framed houses and cobbled squares, with the Kramerbrücke, a bridge lined with shops and homes, as its most unusual landmark. Nearby Weimar carries unmatched cultural weight. In the 18th and 19th centuries, it was home to Goethe, Schiller, Herder, and Liszt, making it a center of European thought and art. Their houses, palaces, and gardens now form a UNESCO World Heritage Ensemble known as Classical Weimar. Weimar is also tied to Martin Luther, who translated the New Testament into German during his refuge at Wartburg Castle. Visitors can walk the fortress rooms where he worked and see the ink stain left by legend. Yet Weimar also holds darker memories. The Buchenwald concentration camp, on its outskirts, stands as a memorial to the crimes of the 20th century. Together, Erfurt and Weimar reflect Germany's dual legacy of creativity and conscience, places where human imagination soared and where history demands remembrance. The Harz Mountains, with their dark forests and peaks wrapped in legend, hold some of Germany's most atmospheric towns. Quedlinburg, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserves more than 1,000 half-timbered houses in a patchwork of streets and squares. Above rises the Castle Hill and Abbey Church, once seat of powerful women's orders. Here, King Heinrich the Fowler, Germany's first monarch, was laid to rest. Nearby, Wernigerode enchants with its colorful town square and castle, perched high above. Narrow-gauge steam trains climb from here into the mountains, their whistles echoing through valleys of fir and granite. Hikers make the journey to the Brocken, the Hartz's highest peak, long wrapped in myths of witches and spirits. On clear days, the view stretches as far as Leipzig. These towns embody the Hartz's character, a mix of folklore, history, and enduring natural beauty. Goslar, at the edge of the Harz, was once a city of emperors and miners. Silver discovered here in the 10th century made it one of the richest towns in the Holy Roman Empire. The Kaiserpfalz, or Imperial Palace, hosted rulers who shaped medieval Europe. The Rammelsberg mines, in operation for over a millennium, are now a UNESCO site. Visitors descend into tunnels once filled with workers, where ingenious water channels and wooden machinery kept the mines functioning. The stories of those who labored underground are preserved in exhibitions above. Back in town, Goslar's half-timbered guild houses line narrow lanes, their decorated facades recalling centuries of craft and trade. The marketplace is crowned by a medieval fountain topped with an imperial eagle, symbol of the city's former power. Today, Goslar stands as both museum and living town, where history remains present in every street. Hamburg, Germany's great northern port, has always looked outward. Its prosperity grew from trade, but its character lies in reinvention. The Speicherstadt, the world's largest warehouse district, is built on oak piles along narrow canals. Once filled with goods from every corner of the globe, its red brick halls now house museums, design studios, and galleries. Next door, the Elbphilharmonie Concert Hall rises like a glass wave above the harbor, an instant landmark of modern Germany. Nearby, Miniature Wonderland draws visitors into the world's largest model railway. Cities, landscapes, and even entire countries are recreated in astonishing detail, a reminder of Hamburg's playful imagination alongside its industry. From harbor tours past container ships to nightlife on the Reeperbahn, Hamburg remains a city defined by water, trade, and energy, both historic and forward-looking. Bremen, on the River Weser, is a city shaped by trade and tradition. Its town hall, with an ornate Gothic facade, is paired with the Roland statue, symbol of civic freedom. Together, they are UNESCO monuments reflecting Bremen's role as a proud Hanseatic city. Inside the town hall, the golden chamber gleams with carved wood and gilded detail. Outside, the square bustles beneath spires and red-tiled roofs. A short walk leads to the Schnorr district, a web of narrow lanes and crooked houses once home to fishermen and craftsmen. Today, the small shops and studios preserve its medieval scale. For a closer look at Bremen streets and landmarks, visit our friends at Walking POV 4K. Their walking tour takes you through the city's historic heart and hidden spots. Find the link in the description. Rügen, Germany's largest island, lies off the Baltic coast. Its landscapes range from sandy beaches to fishing villages, but none are more striking than the white chalk cliffs of Jasmine National Park. Rising more than 100 meters above the sea, they glow against green forest and blue water. At Cape Arcona, the island's northern tip, twin lighthouses watch over the Baltic. Legends tell of pagan temples once standing here, where rituals met the sea. Today, visitors climb the towers for vast views of coastline and sky. Resort towns like Binz recall the island's role as a 19th century retreat. Along its boardwalks and promenades, seaside traditions continue. With wicker beach chairs facing the waves, Rügen remains both a natural wonder and a place of summer leisure. Schwerin Castle, set on an island in a lake, appears like a vision from another age. Its turrets, golden domes, and towers rise above the water, earning it the name Neuschwanstein of the North. Inside, staterooms recall the grandeur of Mecklenburg's dukes, with painted ceilings, carved halls, and ornate furnishings. The surrounding gardens, laid out in Baroque and English styles, frame the castle with fountains and lakeside paths. The nearby old town of Schwerin adds charm, with cobbled streets, a Gothic cathedral, and a lively marketplace. Together, castle and city offer a glimpse of northern Germany's elegance and history. Potsdam, just outside Berlin, reflects the ambitions of Prussian kings. At its heart stands Sanssouci Palace, Frederick the Great's Rococo retreat. Its name, meaning "without worries," belies the artistry of its terraced vineyards, gilded halls, and marble chambers. Beyond Sanssouci, Potsdam holds a collection of palaces and parks that form UNESCO ensemble. The Neues Palais, orangery, and landscaped gardens stretch for kilometers, each blending architecture and nature. History also left its mark at the Glienicke Bridge, once used for Cold War spy exchanges. Today, crossing it is a walk between eras where Europe's divisions once met. Berlin is a city of contrasts, imperial capital, divided city, and reunited metropolis. Its landmarks tell the story of triumphs and traumas that shaped modern Europe. The Brandenburg Gate, once a Prussian monument and later trapped in the Cold War's death strip, is now a symbol of unity. Nearby, the Reichstag blends past and present with its restored parliament chambers and modern glass dome, offering wide views across the capital. Remnants of the Berlin Wall remain, most vividly at the East Side Gallery, where artists from around the world transformed its concrete into a mile-long mural. On Museum Island, UNESCO site, 5 world-class collections hold treasures from antiquity, including the Ishtar Gate and the bust of Nefertiti. Charlottenburg Palace, meanwhile, recalls Berlin's royal past with gilded halls and formal gardens. Other landmarks speak of resilience. The Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church stands in fragments, its ruined spire left as a reminder of wartime destruction. The Tiergarten, Berlin's Central Park, stretches out in leafy avenues and monuments, a place of reflection and everyday life at the heart of the city. On the city's edge, Teufelsberg rises from rubble mounds topped with the remains of a Cold War listening station, its abandoned domes now covered in street art. The Humboldt Forum, in a reconstructed palace on Unter den Linden, showcases global cultures through modern exhibitions. Finally, the Berlin TV Tower pierces the skyline above Alexanderplatz, once a GDR showpiece. Today, it offers a panoramic view of a capital that continues to reinvent itself. As our journey through Germany comes to a close, we hope you've been inspired by the country's breathtaking landscapes, rich history, and vibrant culture. From the fairy tale castles of Bavaria to the wind-swept beaches of the Baltic, from the avant-garde art scene of Berlin to the cozy wine taverns of the Rhine Valley, Germany offers a wealth of experiences for every type of traveler. We've wandered cobblestone streets lost in time, marveled at soaring cathedrals and palaces, sampled hearty regional cuisine and world-class wines, and immersed ourselves in the natural wonders of this enchanting land. Along the way, we've uncovered the complex tapestry of Germany's past, from its days as a patchwork of medieval kingdoms to its darkest hours under Nazi rule, and its triumphant rebirth as a leader on the world stage. Yet as much as Germany is shaped by its history, it is the warmth and vitality of its people that truly make it shine. Whether clinking steins at a lively Oktoberfest celebration, philosophizing over coffee in a Weimar salon, or simply savoring a perfect pretzel in a sun-bathed park, Germans embody a zest for life that is as intoxicating as it is contagious. So as you plan your own German adventure, remember that the true magic lies not just in the sights you'll see, but in the connections you'll forge along the way. Raise a glass to new friends, old traditions, and the enduring allure of this captivating country. Prost! Thank you for joining us on this journey through Germany. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Pathfinders Travel, and click on the video appearing now to continue your journey through the wonders of the world.